Welcome to another movie plot and enjoy the memories. It begins in eastern Germany with the overweight hero Blubberella described by her enemies as moving like a slow tornado. The vampire and human hybrid is capable of surviving in sunlight and lives in her small apartment with her mother in the Jewish area of town. Having lived the last 800 years of her life gaining weight as the result of nervously eating, she hides an entire butcher's in her refrigerator and uses it to help battle the forces of evil. She also has a cotton candy machine and a modern computer to visit a Jewish dating site, but her session is invaded by a German soldier. While out on a date together, the man refuses to relinquish his sandwich to Blub, so she runs him through with one of her swords and just takes it instead. At a nearby concentration camp, the ruthless German commander conducts his operation when the resistance fighters raid them and begin killing everybody. Blubberella gets there right after them and finishes off the rest of the men on the platform before cornering the terrified commander in one of the train cars. A sneaky survivor attempts to shoot her in the back, but Blubs dodges it and slow motion beats him to death with her wooden spoon. The bullet strikes the commander, but it doesn't kill him, so Blubberella smothers him with her chest before leaving the milk-covered commander to die. She meets resistance fighter Vadge, who's an over-the-top gay stereotype, and his leader Nathaniel, who hopes the vampire hybrid will help them liberate Europe. That being said, they aren't good people, and after finding a train car full of prisoners, they just lock them inside and leave them to be recaptured. Blubberella joins them at the resistance hideout, where she helps with the cooking by producing a French breadstick from her jacket to stir the stew with. After a phone call from her abusive mother, Blubs lords over the cooking pot, which she eats directly from, as we jump to the German army. Their lieutenant finds the still living commander after Blubberella's accidental fluid exchange turned him into a vampire. He's taken back to their headquarters for experimentation, where the director's in high spirits as he's just had the clapper installed. Inside's Michael Jackson's doctor, who's already butchering a vampire that he says was a movie critic in his previous life. He's told about the commander's condition from the lieutenant, so the doctor grabs his overnight bag as he plans for a trip to the Eastern Front. Once there, the commander attacks them, but the doctor settles him down by agreeing to help with his transition into a vampire. Due to the hybrid turning him, the commander has tolerance for sunlight, making him capable of such feats as creating a bunny shadow with his fingers. He demands the others take the situation seriously, but when he leaves, they flip a coin to see if they'll stay on course or retire to Hollywood. Meanwhile, Blubberella is having a nightmare where she's being insulted by her mother, who's played by Vadge with blackface. While arguing about how Blubs is too weak to take on the Germans, she pulls out her swords, earning her mother's respect and waking up from the insane scene. She visits the bordello, where she finds one of the German soldiers beating on a woman and crushes his family jewels to rescue her. They show their gratitude by giving Blub a massage, but the employee Slutlana goes to the German headquarters and tells the doctor about her location. She's taken to the commander, who appears like he's going to bite her, but instead just slaps her profusely while the doctor dances behind him. They send some soldiers for what's called a fat walker, but with a pair of rolling pins she beats them around, making the rest retreat for their lives. Blubberella's confronted out front, where she learns that the commander's a vamp due to her messy eating, but gives him the slip with the old look behind you technique. She reports back to everybody else that she now must go clean up her mess, and almost shares a romantic moment with the much shorter leader. That night, Blubberella has another wacky dream where she's visited by the Führer, and this time Nathaniel's wearing the blackface and claiming to have been shot 80 times. The whole thing culminates with Blubberella sleeping with her greatest enemy before waking up in bed beside her pillow of white Nathaniel. The German commander did eventually bite Lana, turning her into a vampire, but she seduces the doctor into her cell to try bite him. Doc manages to fend her off and stakes her in the heart, while the commander visits the lieutenant and also turns him into a vampire against his wishes. He's now sent as a tracker to find Blubberella, who's brought home Nathaniel to try to make a move on him, but the mood's ruined by the arrival of Vadge and his constant need to bully Blubs, like throwing snacks at her. He's come to talk about how they're going to defeat the German army when the lieutenant arrives and fails to get the guard's attention before breaking his neck. He sneaks in, but Blubberella convinces him to sit down for an intervention in exchange for letting him eat the annoying Vadge when they're done. Using her body map from Germany to Switzerland, Blubberella makes the lieutenant point out the commander's location. Then when she hints at wanting to fool around afterward, he thinks about it since his life's on the line, but he'd rather just be staked instead. The resistance fighters return to their hideout to find it's been destroyed and begin to make preparations to attack the commander. After the Blubs restocks her armory, the resistance wait outside while the hybrid takes out the guards. They sneak inside searching for the commander, while Vadge is dressed like a woman to go incognito and brought along a white Russian woman as a misunderstanding over drink orders. They've walked into a vampire ambush, but with the assistance of Blub's brats and Vadge's spotlight, they kill all of their attackers. The woman just walks around their fight and dances in the spotlight the entire time until the commander and doctor arrive. They comment on how hard it must be for Blubberella to be happy and how unique she is, but it's hard to know if they're talking about her vampirism or her weight. Nathaniel gets kept in a cell to make a spectacle of his execution while the doctor attempts to drain the hybrid's blood for study, but he's unable to lift her up. The vampire commander visits to dish out his regular punishment of repeating slaps before feeding on the daywalker's blood and ordering her to be taken to Berlin. Meanwhile, the resistance plans to save them only because Vadge says that it's in the script, so he's brought along the Russian woman to motivate the troops. While being transported in the back of a truck, Blubberella is about to get it on with Nathaniel, but he blows out his finger, so they plan to try again later. Suddenly the resistance blows up the truck and ambushes the soldiers while Blubberella escapes the crash unharmed. The Russian woman hands her a big black machine gun which she uses to kill all of the foot soldiers while the commander takes another hit of her blood. The doctor makes a dash for the tree line but is shot dead by the Russian woman's doppelganger. Vadge is shot next by the commander, who attempts to overpower the unarmed hybrid with brute strength, but the blubs knocks him to the ground and sits on his face to finish him off with a fart courtesy of fried chicken. Nathaniel walks up after cleaning up the rest of their attackers while the bullet completely missed Vadge and he was just playing dead so that he didn't have to fight. The couple then attempt to go at it again, but Nathaniel can't hold in his excitement and the mood's once again spoiled. In a fake sequel called A Very Blubberella Christmas, the resistance drive around Berlin raiding more German bases, after Nathaniel, Blubs and Vadge first finish fooling around in the truck. And the movie ends.